there's an accountability problem within the Republican Party. And so I say on stage that Ronna McDaniel, if she wanted to come up on stage, and I meant it, if she did want to come up on stage, debate stage time is valuable, but I would still yield my time to her if she wants to use the microphone, look the American people in the eye, and say she resigns, which would be good for the Republican Party, and I believe she should resign. So what does she say? So then the press reports there's people apparently sitting in her row or behind her row in front of her where she is, think about this, the neutral arbiter of the Republican National Committee later in the debate when I'm sparring with other candidates, booing when I'm speaking, clapping against other candidates when they're speaking against me. So
feels like high school, no? Political theater, right?
She was booing?
Yeah.
Who was booing?
She's booing me at other points in the debate. And I don't care about that, but think about your dereliction of duty. Yeah. You're supposedly the neutral arbiter of the entire National Republican Party hosting a debate. It's like a referee cheering in the middle of a game between two teams. It doesn't make sense. Like if the referee is like booing or hollering in favor of one team or the other, that's what that looks like if she's the arbiter. Then she's saying during the breaks, and this is as reported by the press, so I wasn't there, but it's apparently sources who are around her, reported by multiple sources in the press, saying that I would not get another cent from the RNC.
Yep.
So think about what that means. That means she believes that's her money. Right? These are donations she's collected from other people.
And journalists feel the same way. They believe it's their job to tell you how you should think about this thing. Right? What they say, your job as a parent is not to teach your kid what to think, but how to think. Journalists believe, and mainstream journalists specifically believes, they should show you how to think and what to think. And what information you get exposed to. It's all about control at the end of the day. But you think these people care about? No. Right? This is why they push it. I keep hammering this point. This is why the media is the most dangerous entity in the world. Because it controls perception. That's the hint. That's my condensed quote. That's my paraphrase quote of Malcolm X's quote about the media is the most dangerous entity in the world. It can make the innocent guilty and the guilty innocent. Because end of the day, media can control perception. And this is why it's a fight for attention. It's a fight for eyeballs. This is why this stuff scares them. They don't like it this way because it gives them less control. Decentralized information, decentralized sources. That is the future of information. That is the future of the internet. This is why everyone loves Bitcoin. You see it. I'm a millennial. You see it. Vivek gets a lot of the young conservatives on his corner. Why? Baby boomers conservatives should ask themselves, Gen X conservatives should ask themselves that question. Why does our young millennial conservatives, who are going to be the future of our party, resonates with this Indian guy so much? That's the question they should be asking if they're looking for the truth. But if they're looking to protect their own interests, if they're looking to protect status quo, they hate this. And that's the truth. I digress. Let's get back into the video.
But somebody said a mean thing about her, and it's not even a mean thing about her. Someone said that we need accountability in the Republican Party, that this person who has failed us 4 times in a row, that there needs to be some accountability. She says, if he says that about me, then this money that I have been a steward for, a fiduciary for, that I'm not going to give a cent to him because he said something that I didn't like about me. Wow. That's a conflict of interest. So,
and Americans, we have to get good at spotting that. Right? I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a liberal. I don't care if you like Vivek. You don't trust Vivek. All I'm saying is we have to look out for that. And if we see that in somebody, we need to get them out of there because they're not serving the common good of what? The citizens, the nation, the people, the party. That's what we need to be watchful for. Only a vigilant people can protect the republic. Benjamin Franklin already warned us. Let's heed his warning. I digress. Let's continue.
So then I get a question after the debate in the press room. I don't know who it came from, but I'm presuming it's from, one of the RNC aligned people, which is, how come you would go on Ronna's stage, on her stage is what they said, on her stage and criticize her like that? My response is, that's not her stage, and that's the problem with this party. It doesn't belong to these corrupt establishment political creatures. It belongs to the voters and the people of this country, and that's where the Republican Party is badly mixed up.
Question for you.
So no, dinner didn't go well.
But I assume you know her last name, her maiden name.
Romney.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think she embodies it.
This is why the founding fathers banned the ability to create a nobility class, because essentially these people, these political families that's known in politics, the Kennedys, the Romneys, the Bushes, the Clintons, the reason why the founding fathers didn't want not monarchies, but aristocrats, nobility, is for the same reason that's going on right now. They assume that they have credibility, entitlement to positions of leadership and power because they're a part of the family. Oh, I'm not taking the fall for this. I'm not taking... do you have the ability or not? We're a country founded on meritocracy. And the minute we start moving away from that is we move away from quality. And we get these people who are in over their heads. They're in positions that expose their incompetence. And that's what's happening with Ronna McDaniel. I don't know why I always struggle with that name, but I digress.
Let me ask a question. When she says you can't, go debate Christie, then how is she okay with DeSantis debating Newsom?
Because it's corruption, man.
You think that's what it is?
Absolutely, it's corrupt. Because the people who are propping up Ron DeSantis, like the super PAC money, all of that's doing up. And it's not criticizing Ron or not criticizing. It has nothing to do with it. It's just the system is. There's tens and tens of millions of dollars in a system where supposedly the max you can give to a campaign is $3,300. The people who have lobbied and gotten their special favors from, and it's not just Ron, it's the way politics works, that those people are the big donors to the Republican Party. And Ron is debating another candidate who's running for U.S. president, that is called Gavin Newsom, and the man who's running for U.S. president, flying around doing. The funny thing about this is Gavin Newsom is not running for U.S. president in the same way that Ron DeSantis was not running for U.S. president, jaunting around on public money and private jets on matters that have nothing to do with the state. That's what Gavin Newsom is.
Exactly. Does that make logical sense? Like, come on. The mainstream media will keep telling you. Like, let's say if you watch the left-wing media and say, you conservatives are such conspiracy theory. You actually think Newsom is running for president? He obviously say he's not running for president. Okay, why is the governor of a state that is losing people, is losing population for the first time in its history, why is he going out to meet a foreign national leader called Xi Jinping? Why is a governor from a state representing us in a talks or in a conversation with a leader of a country? Why is that? If he's not running for election, if he's not running for president, I don't know what he's doing then. Well, is he gonna be Biden's spokesperson? Oh, I speak for Biden, bruh. It's obviously he's positioning himself in the limelight. Why is he accepting a debate with a presidential candidate? Get his more eyeballs, more national attention, bruh. You know them by their action, not their words. That's a statement that I live by. I think a lot of Americans should live by that too, because it's so obvious. All you have to do is look at the actions. Okay, what is the most likely reason he's doing this action? And you'll arrive to a sensible conclusion. But if you listen to mainstream media, they'll propagate you. They'll throw out propaganda. He's not running for president. AKA, hey, we don't want you to pay attention to him. Pay attention to these candidates. Pay attention to Biden. Right? This is why I'm coming around to Vivek's argument that Biden's not going to be the final guy at the November 2024 voting booth. But I digress. Let's continue.
Let's do it now. And as I said on the debate stage as well, to the Democratic Party, I call it Republicans, Democrats evenly. I call Democrats more. Be honest, Joe Biden's not going to be the nominee. So who's it going to be? Put up whichever other person it's going to be so we can have an honest debate. But Ron is able to have that full-on debate on the same network, Fox. But if they're calling me, I think what happened is at a certain point in the race, around late summer, initially they're saying, oh, yeah, young guy, okay, check the box. We got, a lot of boxes he checks for us. We get to say that this guy ran in the Republican Party, young guy, different generation, first generation, whatever. Okay, we check.
You notice that, and I like this when he's talking about how, they accepted him running for president because of a narrative, a story they can tell about him running for president, running in the Republican Party. You see the narrative. This is what I'm talking about. To me, I'm using these points to kind of hone in on the point that the mainstream media wants to control your perception. And someone wants to control your perception regardless of if it's true or factually demonstrable, it's propaganda. And this is what they wanted to do. I'm calling media out on both sides, right? Because I'm not a fan of corporate media anymore. I use them as more of a middleman so I can get information. and then I give my conclusions, my interpretations, my thoughts on it. And I believe it's a more honest take than what they're presenting the information as you saw from the New York Post, who said that Vivek self-destructed on the stage tonight. But if you look at Twitter, 22 million views, 100 million views, people are talking about him. I'm talking about him. Every alternative media personality is talking about him. But mainstream media is like, oh no, he bombed. He did worse. Nikki Haley shined the best during the debates. What kind of... They're smoking. I don't know. But I digress.
Check that box. Oh, wait. He's not going away when he's supposed to, right? The other no-name candidates, and I was initially a no-name candidate too, the other no-name candidates had no chance of making the first debate. They're all off. Nobody really paid attention to them. Wait, this guy's
Larry
sticking
Elder.
around. And then, wait, he's
Sad
saying some
casualty.
things that the establishment that has an allergic reaction to Trump... Wait, he sounds a little bit like that. No, this isn't supposed to happen again. No, stop it. Okay, it was cute while it lasted. Like, make it stop. That's sort of where they were. And so I think there has been a concerted effort amongst the donor establishment class that has convened private summits with the Haley campaign, the DeSantis, the Scott campaigns, Pence, and others, Christie. I'm the only person other than Trump that's not, invited to these closed-door forums. There's certain debates we want Ron DeSantis to get his airtime. You do it, we're going to disqualify you from the next debate. And then you get to the place where now, if you're critical of that party, she says, we're not going to use that she, because she doesn't like what I said, it's a personal conflict of interest, is going to say you don't get another cent from the RNC. So in a certain sense, they prove my point about the corruption.
Exactly.
To say that they view this as their money, to treat it in a way that they're going to pick whoever their favorite horses are.
Yeah, that's...
You don't silence a man because he's lying. You silence a man because you're scared of what's going to come out of his mouth. That's the true statement. And that's how they're treating Vivek. Remember the second debate, how they kept cutting him off? He couldn't get a word in. The media didn't report Nikki Haley was nasty for cutting off Vivek. Oh, the decorum on the stage was despicable last night. All they said was it was an ish show last night, but this person did good. Usually it's Haley, usually it's DeSantis, because DeSantis didn't participate. But for some reason, people still look at Nikki Haley favorably. Now, in this debate, Vivek called her out, criticized her. Now, mainstream media, oh, Vivek was sexist. He was so offensive. He was nasty. Well, but Nikki Haley wasn't nasty for cutting off Vivek while he's speaking, while he's trying to answer a question. That wasn't nasty. You see when you're part of the team, aka the donor class, the leadership class, the establishment, they'll minimize your negatives and highlight your positives. When you're outside of the group, the establishment, the club, they'll highlight your negatives and minimizes your positives. And that's what's happening with Vivek right now. Let me know if I'm lying. Let's continue with the video.
That's very strange because the voter, I'm sitting there saying, and I even asked the governor, I said, why are you debating Newsom? I think a year ago made sense. I think right now makes no sense for the two of you guys to debate. But
exactly.
Rob, do you have the clip of Ronna McDaniel being confronted about what Vivek said and what her response is? And she said, I'm not the one running for president. Play this clip if you could.
There were allegations that were thrown on the stage by one of the candidates in particular, arguing that the Republican Party has a culture of losing. Specifically, Vivek Ramaswamy called for you to resign. Would you like to respond to that?
I'm going to focus on beating Joe Biden. I wish that's what all the candidates did. I'm not running for president. I'm very proud of the fact that under my...
But you're supposed to be a support. Like she's just dodging criticism. But I'm gonna let the video finish.
tenure, we won back the House. We now are getting investigations into the Bidens.
The expectation, look, I know I'm Ram, but the expectation wasn't just to win the House. It was to win the House, the Senate, by a certain amount of votes. You see how they spin it? That's what I'm saying. Look, hey, look. You can come to your own conclusions. I'm just showing you mine. Let's go back.
I also, as Michigan chair for the first time in 30 years, won a state that Democrats hadn't been in. I'm very proud of the fact that we're going to have staff in 15 states heading into 2024. But, I'll leave other people to attack Republicans. I'm going to focus on Democrats. I will say this. We can't attack each other and win. We need all of us.
So actually,
if
I
you're
have a comment
taking-
on
Pause it at this
I have a
point.
comment
Go
on that.
for it.
It was really
So before Vivek goes in on her, I have an argument as a conservative, competition is good. Accountability is good. And competition and accountability is supposed to increase the quality of the group, right? I'm talking as a conservative. That means as a conservative, I believe it's my duty to call out the ineffective, the inefficient members of my society and demand more from them, demand excellence from them, meritocracy. Hey, you're not good at this job. I think you should stop doing that job. That's not me attacking. I'm criticizing. If I can validate my claims, if I can justify why I come to that conclusion, the rest of the group should hold you accountable. Say, hey, yeah, you need to step down. You're not as good at this position as you think you are. I think someone else can be better to fill your shoes. And that makes the group better. Competition increases the quality and the abilities of people who participate within the group. But if you have this culture where criticism is automatically deemed as attacking, how can you say that you want what's best for the party? If what's best for the party is Hermit Dillon is supposed to be the RNC chair and she can give a tangible result that the whole party benefits from, shouldn't she be in that position of power? But you're mad because you're getting criticized for your feelings. This is the problem. But this is the media. This is the game. You got to figure out what is narratives, because narratives is just an imagination. It's just a presentation. It's just an illustration. It's not the truth. Reality is the truth. Results are the truth. Facts are the truth. And if it's not the truth, it's evidence of the truth. But I digress. Let's continue.
Really funny. I hadn't seen this interview. I saw a different interview she did on Fox or Fox Business, where literally that was yesterday morning. She's going on air, national conservative audience, and literally just stated as a fact that Vivek voted for Obama.
Oh yeah, that's right.
100. I just confirm it for you. 100% false. Never voted for Obama in my life.
How do you know that Vivek's telling the truth? Can anyone in the chat tell me how you know Vivek's telling the truth? I'll continue the video.
So you have the chair of the RNC saying, "I'm not going to criticize the Republicans," and then go on national TV, say one of the Republican presidential candidates who you were booing in the middle of the debate. Oh, you have that one?
It's 11 seconds. You can play the clip.
Oh, you guys
I texted it to you.
You guys already, yeah.
I'm looking footage of
maybe
her
I saw it after you actually. So that was press reports of people who were sitting in her row commenting on the fact that she said that there's going to be not 1 cent to me from the RNC, fiduciary violation.
This money thinks situation.
Here's a hint. It's provable that Vivek did not vote for Obama. How do you know? How do I know this? And how does Vivek know he can prove this? How can Vivek prove this? He got criticized for it before. Mike Pence specifically criticized Vivek. Clue? Oh, you weren't always a Republican. That's a clue. But I digress. Let's continue with the video.
There's not 1 cent. How does it actually get divvied up? Because you're the only candidate out there that has made their money as an entrepreneur.
To tell you the truth, I have no idea how the hell all of this sausage making works, because I've basically said screw the system. Now, what does that cost me? 8-figure sums of my wealth that we're putting into this campaign. 15, 16 plus million bucks already. Putting in millions more. It's going to be tens of millions of dollars, certainly by the time we're done. We're going to stop at nothing. But that's the cost of saying screw you to a corrupt system that otherwise wants you to behave like their circus monkey, which I refuse to. But the point is, this is a person who's running the RNC, managing other people's money, and saying that because you said something I don't like, I'm not going to give you 1 cent, then goes on national TV and spews. I mean, it's just a straight up factual falsehood, right? Vivek voted for Obama. Is it false? Yes, it is. Is it damaging? Yes, it is. Is it done with malicious intent for the person who is booing it?
So, how does Ronna McDaniels know who Vivek voted for? Isn't that slander? But do you think the Fox News host fact-checked her there? No. And it's the same. Like, us conservatives, we criticize left-wing media for doing the exact same thing. When Jen Psaki is sitting with, I forgot who was it, Hillary Clinton, and Hillary Clinton spewing misinformation, questionable assumptions. She don't fact check her. She don't question her about that. Say, hey, is that really the case, Hillary? Really, Hillary? Really? Isn't that misinformation, Hillary? No, you don't see her fact checking her. The same thing's going on in Fox News with people that is part of the establishment. And I'm coming around to what Vivek is saying, that, and I think I always thought like this. Like I always knew that politicians have an innate conflict of interest. They want to stay in power, and they'll do anything to stay in power, aka present themselves the way that people want them to present themselves so they can gain power. All right. So I always knew there was always a conflict of interest, but it's kind of blurring the lines now in politics. Like you say, hey, Democrats, Republicans. In reality, it's people who are in the club and people who are out of the club. And there's more people out of the club than in the club, aka the uniparty, right? People will say, oh, it's the uniparty, it's the uniparty. But I'm not a defeatist. I believe, hey, we should fight to change the system. We should create systems and institution where it makes it hard for people like the individuals that's currently running our party to ever gain power in the future again. I want to suffer so my children's generation don't have to suffer the same problems that we're dealing with today. Let my kids deal with a new problem, a different problem. Let me make sure I pass down a country that has less problems than how I found it. That's how I like to believe. So merely being, oh, I clean my hands of this system. You're just allowing it to exist. Choosing to do nothing is still a decision. But I digress. Let's get back into the video. Oh, he want to do this.
Me and saying those things? Yes, it was. Now, am I going to go after because I have better things to do in my life? Probably not, right? But this is corrupt stuff.
Well, in the first debate,
play this real quick because it's 11 seconds. Go ahead, Rob.
I know Vivek's kind of newer to the party. He voted for Obama, so he may not know that.
Look at her. She just flat out says I voted for Obama. It is a lie. I mean, look at this woman. Bold-faced, getting up there, loses 4 elections for the Republican Party.
Get her.
Pathetically going up.
Cook her.
Literally just looking the American voters,
Let them
Republican
cook.
voters in the eye.
Let them cook.
And telling them a bold-faced lie. I mean, you just play that. I just want people to hit clip again because I don't want that I'm putting words in her mouth.
I know Vivek's kind of newer to the party. He voted for Obama, so he may not know that.
For, I mean, this is
last chance, guys. Last chance in the chat. No one knows how Vivek can prove that he never voted for Obama. She gave a hint too. She gave the hint. Oh, like, this is the first time in the Republican Party. Okay, I digress. Let's get into the video. I'm pretty sure she'll answer it. Not she, but Vivek will answer it.
This woman without a fact, with an iota of basis.
Is there a way to prove that so she loses?
Yeah, actually, there's a way to prove it.
Okay.
He has voting record,
the fact
right?
that, yeah, the voting record. So actually, I was so disillusioned, and I've talked about this. I voted Libertarian when I was young in my first election. Then I got so
here's the conclusion, right? She assumed just because he wasn't a registered Republican that made him by default a Democrat. Like the Libertarian Party doesn't exist. Like other political parties don't exist. You see how you see how narrow these people are? They don't live in real life. They think, oh, you're either with me or against me. Okay, so if you wasn't with us, then you're against us. Remember, Vivek used to be a libertarian. He was a registered libertarian, I believe. And now he recently became a Republican. But she assumed, oh, yeah, you must have voted for Obama. Yeah, I don't know a lot of liberals. I mean, not liberals. I don't know a lot of libertarians that will vote for Obama. But I digress.
Solution from politics that it's actually public record that in both of those, I don't like John McCain and I didn't like Barack Obama and I didn't like Mitt Romney and I didn't like Barack Obama. So I actually didn't vote in those elections. I sat him out. I'm not particularly proud of that. I was in my 20s. I understand why many people are disillusioned from politics. I was disillusioned back then too. I voted for the Libertarian candidate back in 2004, and then I basically said, "Screw this. I have better things to do with my life. I'm going to be an entrepreneur."
So here's how I was able to prove it is because Mike Pence criticized Vivek for not being politically involved in the political process. Oh, you only voted in 2004. Oh, you never voted. Oh, you didn't vote. How can someone who's didn't vote, didn't participate in politics, now you want to come here and run for president? That was a criticism that Mike Pence launched at Vivek. And Vivek said, yeah, you're right. I didn't participate because I got disillusioned, which is consistent. But people will say, oh, he flip-flopped on his answers. No, you misinterpret what he said or airlifted quotes. Like just say you don't like the guy. You don't trust the guy. That's it. That's a fair criticism. Hey, I don't trust him. I don't like him. Hey, okay, that's good. But don't be trying to make assumptions based on things you can't really concretely prove. But I digress. Let's continue.